Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have finally Mordekaiser jungle, as I'm rudely interrupted by the announcer. A great representation of those of us who watch way too many Twitch streamers who should probably stop playing the game, because he does indeed surround himself in negative energy for some percentage magic health damage. It's literally what it says, negative energy. Also has some scaling magic penetration on his E. He's got a shield that, can absorb stuff and be converted into health. And he can steal 10% of your stats with his ultimate. So, how does this champion that has such a nice, rounded, well-balanced and designed feel to it, rock on, work in the jungle? Usually we used to top laners, especially Mordekaiser top laners, going to that lane and destroying our top laners, and getting MVP in the game history, which, by the way, is linked below. And then they just kind of snowball out of control. But in jungle, we don't have that, juicy minion wave rushing at our face and the dumb laner just feeding us kills. So how do you play this champion in the jungle? Now, clearing, they buffed this way back when they wanted to get all off-meta junglers into the picture. Runes on your screen now, standard Conqueror rune page. But it is not supremely fast early. However, it is nice wards here, very good, thank you very much. This is actually great to see. It's a Mercy Yi. So, you're watching a high elo E-West game. Well, borderline high elo, at least it's at the fringe of it. I'm not sure if I think the Yi might even be D1, but the Mordekaiser has a couple hundred LP himself, so he definitely is master. And you're just having a Yi versus Mordekaiser. So obviously, you're not looking for a lot of early stuff in terms of ganks and pressure. Mordekaiser's benefit here, and this is why it's good to you need to understand jungle flow a lot, and I'm going to talk about that and how it really should work. It's not a case of AFK farm do nothing, it's a case of you really need to focus on being a little bit more selfish. Bot lane dies straight up, and just for full credit here, the Kaiser and the Pike are going to destroy lane, they're going to get super, super fed, and the gold lead is going to be in blue team's favor for a long time, but Mordekaiser always feels like he has control of his own situation, and that's how you kind of have to view the jungle. I'm going slowly on the clears just so you can watch it go through, and if anyone wants to replicate, you can do that. You would have noticed that the rune set, there we go, the rune set had Revitalize. That's because of the shielding and healing on the W over here, so that gives you a lot more. It's just really, really damn useful in the jungle, not only for clearing, but also for when you're skirmishing over crabs and things like this. As most junglers can do now, we can join these together, and you'll see it's not that slow. The fact that he's getting it done is nice. It's not, he should be 315, under 315, here we go, 313, very good, perfect. Perfect. So when I said it's not so bad, I meant it's actually good. It's not supremely fast, like a Talon or a Zed, because those are just so fast, because why not? But it definitely allows you to get to crabs on time, and obviously if you don't have bot prior, pay attention to that, and then the Yi's gonna do the same thing and take this. Now, you're most likely gonna be looking to do this in the early game. And you would have noticed recently a lot of talk about this Frostfire Mordekaiser jungle, but that player who was peak GM really is offsetting his bad Mordekaiser win rate in Master Plus with this build with a more meta champion. So it's not like we don't really want to be chilling here doing nothing. I think definitely we can look for a gank, but if the wave is unfortunate, if your lane is in base, if the set is prior to ward this, he knows what you're going to do as Mordekaiser, right? You can't really do anything, but I do think this should be something we're looking for. Now, the Yi shows top lane, no back, 28 CS. Okay, so he's done a full clear plus a crab. I don't know what he's looking for, and this is going to be very interesting. I'm actually going to go back. He's doing this, tier 2 already. I'm actually going to go back quickly. I want to see exactly what the Yi's doing. So he takes his crab, all right? He scans this, and this is what we're talking about. There's no reason for him to go for this, and there's no reason for him to go into the jungle. This is terrible waffling. I know he's looking for the gank. I know he's looking for the gank. But the Annie's gonna play safe. The Annie knows the Pike is here. It's a LeBlanc with Ethereal Change. If she hits that on the Pike hook, she's dead. She knows you're in the area. He now has no idea the timing. I don't know why you're checking Raptors. He now has no idea the timing for the Krugs. It would be really beneficial for him to hit this plant and get this information. And you would see him just waiting here. It would change the nature of what the Yi is going to do. I don't like it though, because Mortar's gone back to base with a blasting one. He's come back with 40 AP. And raw stats really help the Mordekaiser clear turbo fast. And now we are activated. Very, very literally in that sense in terms of fast clears. First one, that's fine. It's a good 315 crab reset. But if you get a Blasting Wand at minimum, which obviously you can do as you're seeing, now things turn up. Watch this. The clear speed goes very, very quickly. And Mordekaisers will sometimes literally do Karthus kind of things where they forsake you as laners and just make sure they're juicing themselves. Now, obviously, look, they're losing here. What the Mordekaiser is doing, though, and this is the big differentiating factor between this Mordekaiser and the Volibear video in the previous one. The Volibear just kind of rinsed clit and didn't think about cutting the map, didn't think about changing what he's doing. The Mordekaiser processes everything. Full clear, crab, reset, standard season 11, boring. Tier 2, great. Yi decided to risk gank and waited way too long to go back to base. Yi's gonna buy and go Krugs, Raptors. What the Mordekaiser could do is stay here, do these 2 camps, and then look to gank and crab, dragon. But instead, he knows he has tempo advantage over the Yi because of the Yi's waste of time, so he cuts the map instead of full clearing. And that's what I mean by cutting the map. Instead of seeing your full clear to the end, nice hitbox, you cut it and do something proactively before the enemy jungler is going to be able to respond. So the Yi now will do this, go, okay, well, I can gank this, or I just might as well go up, okay? We don't know from the Mordekaiser's perspective, but we don't really care because you are focusing only on yourself. Fall back to your Grump, fall back to your Wolves, and now you're sequencing up. You've reversed the sequencing of your pathing. And again, we can cut the map because it has not been 250 minutes since our Raptors were taken, which means we can afford to go down and take the Scuttle Crab. If Yi did not look for this, he will have to go up and be on the wrong side for a gank, he'll be on the wrong side for the crab, and all he's gonna do now is look to do this or counter jungle. So the Mordekaiser's choice here is as an early level 6. Look at this. That's the strength. If you can do this, it's like the Karthus effect. You're really getting yourself ahead, but you're not affecting your laners too much. So it's very important, and you're gonna see this from the Mordekaiser's perspective. As we see the Yi, good job. To defend our jungle, make sure we're not getting counter jungled. That's a really good ward. I love that ward, by the way. And now we know we're seen, so we should drag the camp into the bush. And if you do see a gank, if you do see counter jungling available, as the enemy jungler risks things, knowing they're not going to be able to keep up with your clear speed as you're watching, okay? Do so. Please take those advantages. And here, this is good. Red, Raptors, Krugs. Why? Because we did Grump Wolf, so we want to sequence up. Because, and I'll just pause it so I don't overwhelm you with information and theory, which is what we're doing at the moment. Because the next objectives here are the Rift Herald, a top lane gank to assist something. We do have ultimate available as well, which means we can yeet them to the Dark Dimension or Brazil. And you've got this spawning as well. Knowing full well that the Yi went Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Grump, right? So if the Yi shows top lane here, doesn't snipe anything else, he's going to reset and have to replicate the process. Or he can come topside to the Herald, but then he's screwing over his own farming tendencies. The Mordekaiser now knows, because he has Grump, Wolves, Raptors, Red secured, not only does that allow him to do all of this stuff, reset, and then repeat, if he wanted to, it also means that if the Yi stayed out a little longer to maybe counter jungle something, little few chicken nuggets, he can't because you denied him the Raptors, the spawn. So, let's see how it plays out. That's why we do those things, whether they're aware of it or not. I do think here we should be straight up rotating way before he's actually doing so. There's no... He yeeted and smacked. It's funny. Good champion design. Yeah, you know, I just leave the babies and go do it. Then you don't have to flash. You know? You don't have to flash. Okay. Level 6 Triumph proc. We have this. And now we know that the Yi, who is, again, not shown, must be doing this. Hello, sir. There you go. I love it when my tracking works. Sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. And I've got a funny anecdote once the Yi finishes off the Samira here. Very nice. I had an Aurelia do this to me yesterday, or a couple days ago, and I saw her roam down here from a ward that was dying, and I knew it was going to happen. So I kind of, Zyra hung back, because I play support as well. And as she tried to do exactly what the Yi did, you just kind of E her and spot, and they die. I enjoy that a lot. So the Mordekaiser is perfect, you know, he did exactly what he's expected to do. The Yi knows he's got to try something, goes bottom lane, takes his Krugs, and now he kind of does this, right? And gets to push the wave. So he gets something back. The Mordekaiser, though, gets the objective, gets the blue, gets the Grump. And look at these wolves, level 7. Now he gets RNG Crab, and then we can repeat gank the top lane. Excuse me. I need to I need to see that again. I just forgot what it looks like when you're not playing off-meta junglers. This is an off-meta jungler, but man, he takes that quickly for off-meta junglers. Set says, I better go ward because I feel kind of naked here, and the Mordekaiser just goes, no, no, and now I'm going back to base. Empowered Recall, he's got nothing on the top side, and he didn't do this. That's the downside. Once the Herald dinged gone, the Yi pushed the wave, but because the enemy bottom lane, in this case the red side bottom lane, had respawned, the Yi couldn't afford to go up to that. So the Yi is just completely screwed. Do we have some shutdown? 170 bottom lane. Man alive, I should make a support channel and watch this. So the Mordekaiser, what I don't necessarily like here is that we're going to the top side. Okay, so what happened was the Samira decided to go all in here, and even though she was in a 2v1 and had the advantage, she didn't. The Yi shows at the very end, gets an Alpha Strike assist. So you know straight up that he's going to your blue side. Now, you're 100% doing this because it's the highest tier camp, level 8. These will be level 7 camps. Now, I don't know why we went to the top side, because a couple things. The dragon's going to be spawning. Yes, we do have time to sequence down and cut the map again, which is exactly what he wanted to do. But because we denied the Yi all of his blue side, where's he gonna go? He's only gonna go in one direction, down to the bottom side, and you have camps available. So I think I would put priority here on defending these camps, and knowing that Kai'Sa and Pyke were not low enough to rotate, and the fact that the Morgana would have been able to help me actually stop this. So I think this is a huge, huge oversight from the Mordekaiser. He yeets the Yi, yeets his stats, or 10% of his stats, tries to ground slam, gets Alpha Strike, but he can exist and just keep oh my goodness, it's disgusting. It's so strong. And he's got Rift Maker completed. So don't forget this. I do think the Frostfire Tank Mordekaiser is a good build, it's a fun build, but most of the Mordekaiser jungles do go Rift Maker because it's just so disgusting in skirmishes. So he did as he wanted. Krugs, Raptors, cut the map, take the Drake. The Yi should not have gotten away with this or this. So we could have denied him Quadrant, Herald, Dragon, and our blue side. I mean, the guy would be starved down 2 levels. He currently was basically down 2 levels, but we could have exacerbated that a little bit more. You know, could have made it really significantly extreme. And I enjoy giving punishment to the enemy jungler. I enjoy invading them, taking their stuff, killing them, and then cutting to my other quadrant where they could go, because I know that their next move is here, so... Sorry, that made no sense. But as you can see, they're dying, that makes no sense. I mean, like, if you counter jungle red Raptors, and you kill them, they go top side, they're most likely going to try and reverse, so what you can do is just run across mid lane and take this, and now there's no ways for them to do the same thing to your blue side, because you're just going to sequence down. So you just completely deny them, which is... I would have wanted to see a little bit from the Mordekaiser in that direction. I think it's huge. But obviously the benefit is your Krugs, Raptors, and Red will all spawn at the same time. They will also spawn... This is great, you know? He's 1-1-1. And the plated steel caps do nothing. Okay, good. Okay, good. Don't like this. I don't like the E. This is my... Okay, so the 60% damage reduction early, I don't like, but... Man, it sucks being a tank. Really does. What do we have? Plated steel caps completed as well. Krugs can be finito. At least we got some plate gold. If you can hit that, it's fine. You're not going to break a tower. And as I said, you're looking to survive and thrive as Pentakill Mordekaiser. You want to knock out the Viego, but the Viego replaced with, well, Viego always, but whatever jungler you're facing. Just like in the concept that we had. Now, Grum spawns differently, separately from Wolves, which is unfortunate. But again, Quadrant, cut the map, fall back to the camps. So he does camps, looks for action. If nothing, cuts, looks for action, rewards himself with camps. And if there's nothing, again, you can just keep farming. So he's not AFK farming without intent. There's a very strong focus about what he's doing. Even if it doesn't look like it. So I think here, definitely, nothing on the map. You must look to ult. You must look to gank. LeBlanc's a bit more of a tougher cheese because her mobility. Wow, I got faked out. Wow, that was so skillful. Oh no, who could have foreseen this? Also, isn't it very irritating when you do that and the person you're fighting with doesn't hold the clone? You know? Like, why don't they just stay with the clone? So any really nice cutoff on the roaming, really nice binding there, and that should be dead Mordekaiser. That's really beautifully done by Annie. I hope you saw the movement. Kai'Sa and Pyke took the bottom tower plus all the plates. They're obviously going to rotate, try and get more plates. But because of the bad roam and the death, because of the LeBlanc overcommitting and the nice proactivity from the Mordekaiser, we're able to actually deny this. So he's 3-0-1, but he is really fat. I mean, 130, 127. No one else is remotely close to his level. Let's look at the gold amounts. 6'3" should be the most in the game, apart from the Kaiser, because she got inted. So, second in the game. But normally, I think, now most of you are going to probably tell me, but Virkayu, my bot lane always ints. Therefore, this is always my reality, which is not always true. But in most games, when lanes are equal, you'll have the most gold in the game. Yeah, what are you trying to accomplish here, buddy? What are you trying to accomplish here? You're a stick insect, and this guy, you know, has a better ass than Superman. This guy hip thrusts every morning before he eats. And you're a stick insect. The ground slam doesn't hit, but we do get stunned. But now we have the black shield. It doesn't really matter because we have Omnivamp. Oh, she ulted. She thinks she's... Oh, wait, it worked. I was going to fake it out, but it actually worked. That's a Virkayu. I do... No. I don't know if most of you know, I played Kaiser jungle in Season 8 when it was actually kind of like really hidden OP. But that got gutted, sadly. But I enjoyed that a lot. You would go the Q missiles with Hexa Gunblade. Beautiful. That's kind of like what it was. You just reposition and use your Q and people die. I mean, a turbo fed Kaiser now gets it, but back in the day, if you even were like 2-0-1, as long as you had Hexa Gunblade, you could heal up and press that Q button and exactly the same would just happen. That's an unfortunate death, but we'll take it. Right. Definitely now you see the same, you see the separate, not the separate, but the change in focus here. He's not going here. You know, he understands that we're on a win condition here, and also you see this. I like it. She gets the int lane and gets my Grom. It's beautiful, isn't it? Please don't take the blue. Samira, don't take the blue. You are not the win condition here. The win condition, Mordekaiser jungle is about making yourself the win condition, okay? Good, she didn't take it. At this point, he realizes we have a Soul Prio for us, for the red team, and the enemy Kaiser needs to be shut down somehow. Well, she just did get shut down, but I mean contained in these fights. Nara's mid lane, good rotation. Kaiser and Set are collapsing here in completely the wrong position, which gives us a free dragon, and I like that by the Nara, actually. I don't like it that he died, but I like that he used the Herald as a huge bait. You don't have the numbers, but you have a TP in 28. So if you can posture, bait, not die, not int, play it safe, if you can make a pick, we do have the TP component. Okay. Tibbers doesn't really... Well, it's more like Winnie the Pooh at this point. We're able to ult and disappear from the realm. We can't really see it. Okay, very good. Man, that healing. The Revitalize and the Omnivamp and everything. Okay, we'll die to the Pike, though. The Mordekaiser is making things happen. That shield and heal is insane. And the ultimate obviously really helps. Does it show us? Bonus damage to champions. Yeah, but I want to... I wish it would tell us the total Omnivamp... The Omnivamp? The total healing gained from it. I'd really like to see that stuff as well. Zhonya's second, so you would have noticed from the thumbnail, and you might have think, again, why are you trolling us? I'm not. The guy will go Stoneplate. He does... Mordekaiser, you know, if you're in a situation where you can't exactly get yourself fed like this, please, go tank Itemization. You can easily do that, Spirit Visage, and become a super unkillable demon monster. And the Frostfire kind of has the same concept behind it. As you will. Stacking the passive. Why not? But the Omnivamp plus this is a huge base. A lot of damage, a lot of sustain, and people can... It's not very easy for people to deal with you when you have that much of an AP ratio. And obviously you can see here. I mean, it's a lot. And then the E, just for context, goes up to 15% Magic Pen. So as we are maxing that third, by the time people get MR, Merc Treads, Wit's End, because basically ADCs are tanks now, everything's a tank but tanks, you have passive pen built in. So there's no real forced need for you to get Void stuff, but Demonic's Embrace can be very useful as well. Now, at this point, our team's a bit spread, so I think here it's fine. We just go Krugs Raptors, we shatter mid lane. It's always important to do that. A lot of people come out of base here, go Raptors Krugs, and I don't get that. That's kind of dumb, because if something happens, you're not here. But if we go to base and do this, we can tie in with our team very nicely. Now there's a split push component on the bottom side. We don't have TP, it was just used. Hopefully you saw the cross map. Now you're looking to essentially be the tanky beefy front line. We ult to make sure we get out of the Danger zone. It's just a Q. It's just so satisfying. I think I'm gonna start playing this a little bit. The fact that the clear gets 315, the fact that I can basically do my style of jungling with it, solo dragons and get soul conditions, even with inting lanes, and I think that's the crucial thing. And the fact that you can 1v1 so many people, this is not a good idea, but obviously results-based. No, okay, good. I hate it when that happens. It's a nice cleanup, but I don't think we should have cut through here. It's pretty obvious LeBlanc was in the area. And now that you're dead, though, only your Gnar is alive. The Gnar's done a good job, but let's be honest, the Mordekaiser made things happen for this lane. So again, you might think, wow, he's AFK farming. He really wasn't. You know, it's a way to farm and get yourself fed and to give your team objectives, but still a way to impact the game. Okay, we're 5 at 14. Did we count the assists? I don't want to count the Samira's assist. I feel like the Samira's assists are just disingenuous to her inting. I feel like I'm giving her too much credit. The Morgana's assist we can count because it looks like she's trying a bit more and she's just black shielding the Mordekaiser. Unfortunate, but Pyke is a champion. Mord is up again. Black shield. Was it too late? I think it was good, actually. Alright. Okay. That misses. Hook's coming. Q hits. That's a beautiful Q. And now she gets clawed in. Beautiful. Ground slam, auto, and a claw. Well done, Morgana. Okay, we count her stats. We feel sorry for the Morgana. And we put an F down for the fact that she has to lane with upset but worse. Because it's not better. Don't you love, though, that the Mordekaiser did all of this? He's 7-3-14. He's got 14 out of 21 KP. While having 168 CS, more than anyone else on this team other than Gnar. Obviously, the Kaiser's got a lot of CS. And he's controlled dragons. And he controlled dragons by simply having a game plan early. Acknowledging that he's not going to double crab and he's not going to look for ganks early. He's getting onto the map first for the tier 2s. The Yi wastes time looking for something, forcing it. And the Mordekaiser immediately says, cut the map, dragon control. And then he swaps to the Herald. Then he swaps back to the dragon. It's my style of jungling. I like it. It works very, very well. Although, obviously, with a lot of other junglers, please remember that you do need to impact lanes. He did so, but sometimes a little bit more presence is always good. So, they're fighting mid lane with a dragon up. I don't know why. Mordekaiser says, you know what? I'm just going to keep whacking away at this dragon. Pyke shows up. We just need to outsmite it. Beautiful. Smite was at 872. It's perfect. It's basically as close as you can get it to 900. And then he's, of course, ulted the Yi and it kills him. And now he's just going to say, well, what do you think you're going to do? Because I have an Aegis. A Zhonya's. It's a beautiful Zhonya's animation. And you can't kill me. Because I have Riftmaker. Then an Aegis. Then 3 dragons. 4 dragons, that's all. And an ult cooldown that is now 71 seconds and costs nothing. All mages are crying in pain. Imagine your ult costing nothing. Definitely, I think Baron here is a great call. This is just a merciful map control game. I think this is really, if you were to say, my bottom lane is going to hard grief. My mid lane is going to be solid, but basically it's a net neutral early. The Annie's played better later on. And I can basically impact top lane and then make sure those objectives are in my pocket. It's a great game example to sort of say, well, my bottom lane's inting. How do I offset that to a certain degree elsewhere? Which is what I love. Because that's at the end of the day it. That's it. I made the Viego game where it was basically the mid lane hard griefing. It wasn't inting. The dude was griefing. It was like a Gale Force LeBlanc. Really had no interest in winning the game. And he carried that game by doing the same kind of thing. Like, okay, you live your own life. If this is your concept of fun, I hope you get banned for it, but I'm still gonna win the game. And that was a professional player. And this is just a good old French Master player who wants you to give him your nickname, as it were. I don't know why. Does he require people submit this through DMs at the end? Is he making some kind of weird list? I don't know. He plays Mordekaiser jungle, so who knows. Pushing up mid lane. I think here you have to be very, very cautious. This is kind of like the Volibear yesterday. 2 days ago, where that was just atrocious. And people saying, why did you make a video out of it? I'm making a video out of it because it's important to learn from, and the Mordekaiser is a correction of that. Watch. Instead of farming and going back to the side lane, top lane, he cuts into the map, flanks him from behind, Kaiser's gonna go, and he's ulted the set. He's obviously just gonna make sure the set can't ult anyone. He's just gonna kill him because it's free, and he gives a lot of resistance stats. He misses the slam bam on the Kaiser, but Ignite goes through, and that should be it. Well done. She's just zoned, and he's splitting here. So the Volibear, in that game, the Nars did a very good job. We gave the Nara lead, he ran with it. The bot lane inted. I mean, the ADC inted, you know? But the Volibear would have just gone up here and pushed this, and your whole team would have wiped, and they would have just pushed back in. So yes, you have the split push from you and the Gnar, but you wipe, you know, your team wipes, and they need you in it. So the Mordekaiser played it perfectly, as opposed to the Volibear basically tragically screwing it over. We also have this, the Gargoyle Stoneplate now completed, and the Oblivion Orb for anti-heal, I guess. I mean, 126 healing reduced. Not really doing much at this point, but well played, Mordekaiser jungle. You saw the clear way better than actually I anticipated. It's my mistake. He did a good job, 315, but in my mind it was slower for some reason. You don't really see it that much, but try this out. Try out the Frostfire build if you want also. Both work. Hopefully you don't get this ADC on your team, but if you do, you know how to carry it. Maintain your dragons, maintain your heralds. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.